This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And good morning. We've made it to Friday on this shortened week. I'm Ray Collins. Jacqueline is off today. It's 5 o'clock, and John is here. And you think more like Lou Rawls or Barry White this morning, John?
You sound like a late-night FM DJ.
I wish that was the case. I got tea, though, not coffee today.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes,
I hope it doesn't hurt.
I feel better than I sound, actually.
Wow. Well, actually, you sound pretty good. It sounds great, actually. That's the we worked for years to get one of those deep, resonant voices, and there you got it with just a little virus.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling all right. We're looking at some fairly quiet conditions across the Suncoast today. We had a couple of big thunder boomers last night through areas around Port Charlotte, but most of us did not see any rainfall. Today, I think our chances are a little bit better of the coverage being a little bit greater, so perhaps if you didn't see rain yesterday, maybe today's your day. We'll look for these showers to probably build a little bit further to the north today than they did yesterday. Across the region right now, radar is quiet. There's just not a lot of activity, so morning commutes should be rain-free and A-OK. The satellite view shows, well, a lot of sunshine in store for you this afternoon, so it will be another warm one. Yesterday's daytime high temperature was 91, and will probably be pretty close to that again today. As far as the rainfall over the last 24 hours, certainly to the south, the rainfall amounts were greatest. In most of Manatee County, you saw tenths of an inch of rainfall, if you saw that. Down to the south, though, you saw as much as 3.5, in some cases higher, inches of rainfall. So some significant rains there. Forecast for today calls for a daytime high that tops out near 91 with about a 40% rain chance. Complete weekend forecast coming up in just a few. Back to you, Ray.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. All smooth right now in Manatee County. A little buildup there on 64 by downtown. We see a bit of a congestion area, not just inside my lungs, also I-75 northbound around Clark right there. And farther south, just a bit of a congestion area, 41 north, heading up toward Business 41 at 5:02 on your Friday morning. Topping our news now, police say a man admits he shot his 19-year-old and 12-year-old stepsons in Bradenton. Our Rick Adams has the story.
Well, the shooting happened inside the home right back there. Police say it stemmed from an argument between a stepfather and a stepson. Gunfire erupted Thursday morning inside this home in the 1900 block of 6th Avenue East in Bradenton, sending a teen and his brother to the hospital. Police say 19-year-old Rufus Adams suffered a gunshot wound to the head and upper body. He was in critical condition, and his 12-year-old brother was shot in the lower body. We're being told his condition is stable.
Them kids used to play and stuff. I go by there and see them. They never had a problem like this here. So I just feel for the community.
Police tell us Adams and his stepfather, 36-year-old Joshua Rapola, got into an argument, and then Adams grabbed a gun, followed by Rapola grabbing another gun. Rapola fired the gun, striking the 19-year-old at least 2 times, and police say it appears the bullet that struck his 12-year-old brother was accidental.
They're getting ridiculous, you know, everywhere with all this shooting.
It's not yet known if any charges have been filed. In the meantime, this is a shooting that has left the East Bradenton neighborhood in shock.
I've been here right at 4 years. I never thought nothing to happen like this here. You know, I sit out on my porch late at night and stuff, and early in the morning.
And authorities are continuing with their investigation. If you know anything more about this shooting, you're being asked to contact Bradenton Police immediately. Reporting from Bradenton, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
A 69-year-old Sarasota man's behind bars after sheriff deputies say he was trafficking in cocaine. This man, Joseph Belcom, arrested Monday after he was pulled over for a seatbelt violation. During the traffic stop, deputies say they found a locked safe in his pickup truck with envelopes of cocaine inside. They also found marijuana and cash. He was released on $17,000 bond. Memorial services begin late today for the 4 young men killed in a car crash last weekend in Englewood. Troopers say the men from Port Charlotte were killed when the car they were riding in ran a stop sign and smashed into an SUV. The car caught fire and all 4 inside were killed. The family in the SUV only had minor injuries. A memorial for 23-year-old Dustin Strong will take place at 4 o'clock today at Lemon Bay High School, and a similar service will be held at 3 o'clock on Saturday for 21-year-old Austin Hershey at the same location. Services are still being planned for Keith Williams and Billy Solomon. The smell of natural gas caused an evacuation at a construction site in the Rosemary district yesterday. Sarasota County fire officials say a 2-inch natural gas line breached during an excavation near Orange and Boulevard of the Arts in Sarasota. It happened about 3 p.m. About a dozen workers were evacuated while the line was capped. Fire officials say it should be fixed at this point. After being accused of violating federal and state law, the Bradenton Housing Authority is dropping its no weapons policy for residents. According to Executive Director of the Housing Authority, he's been working to change the language in residents' leases. Ellis Mitchell says the process began before the tragic shooting 2 weeks ago when a 13-year-old accidentally shot and killed his 12-year-old brother. The new leases will allow residents to have weapons. However, it will still need to be revised, and the changes need to be approved by the Housing Authority's attorney as well as city commissioners before it takes effect. Strong wind last night damaged more than a dozen homes in Punta Gorda. The Charlotte County Fire Department rushed to the Riverhaven Mobile Home Park on Burnt Store Road for reports of a possible tornado. When responders arrived at the scene, they found that 13 homes had some degree of wind damage. Luckily, no one was injured. County officials consulted with the National Weather Service, which had no reports of tornadoes last night in Charlotte County. Well, it's now official. Peter Lear is the new city manager of Northport. Commissioners voted last night. He'd been serving as an interim capacity since the former manager, Jonathan Lewis, left for a job with the Sarasota County government. Lear has worked for the city for the past decade, most recently as the finance director. He now leads more than 500 employees and a budget of $110 million. He is an Army veteran who grew up in Venice. A scam alert this morning happening on the Suncoast car market. Several car owners who bought a new or used car nearly a year ago are now receiving notices in the mail with words like urgent or final notice. Experts say it's actually a third party trying to trick you into buying an extended warranty that you might already have. They buy registration information from the DMV and know when to target the car buying anniversary dates. The warranty could be real, but it would be inferior car parts.
When the service advisor calls for prior authorization, they will try to encourage them to use either a used part, an LKQ, which is something from a salvage yard, something from Napa or one of these auto parts stores such as AutoZone, and not necessarily OEM equipment. So if you choose to actually use original equipment made for your vehicle, you could have to pay the difference.
Godfrey says it's best to contact the place where you bought the car directly to check on the status of your warranties. And by the way, here's some trivia. On average, about 7 in 10 buyers will purchase extended warranties when they get their cars. A follow-up now in a popular Siesta Village restaurant that was severely damaged when a truck plowed through the front window earlier this week. The Lobster Pot is now back open. The owners called an emergency crew after the July 4th crash for some quick repairs. This after a man plowed into the front window. Fortunately, no one was injured. The owners say there's still limited seating, but the menu is not limited.
It was kind of surprising when it happened. We're more surprised that nobody got hurt, being that it was 4th of July day in a busy beach area. So I'm just happy nobody got hurt.
Investigators believe the driver of the pickup truck had a medical issue before the incident. The city of Sarasota is trying to fight the right to balance when it comes to trees. Our Adam Cellini has the story.
I think that the trees need a voice.
In the Sarasota office of Tammy Kovar's company Biological Tree Services, you'll find 2 binders, one for Sarasota tree ordinances and one for every other city and county.
The city of Sarasota is pretty well known for its extensive library of code.
But that library still has no answer that appeases residents who feel the code is too light on tree removal and builders who often feel the code is too strict.
Every tree is different, and every location of every tree is different, and there are a lot of factors to consider when you're looking at a piece of a property where you have different trees throughout the property.
That's why the city is putting together a team of locals to revamp those rules. Currently, they require contractors maintain tree numbers by either replacing them to a similar size or moving trees from one property to another.
It's not something you can just go in and chop down and expect it to pop right back up.
Alice Sundstrom lives in Laurel Park, where a historic home was demolished last year because moving it meant removing 3 trees along the road. She appreciates the character that mature trees can provide, but understands they can sometimes be a problem.
There needs to be some flexibility built into this new code or ordinance that they're going to be having, while still making sure that they maintain the canopy and the beauty of the neighborhood.
This new board will be made up of neighborhood leaders like Sundstrom, 2 developers, a resident, a business owner, and an arborist that can hopefully make everyone's life a little easier.
We don't want to have to fight every time a tree's taken down.
Now later this month, commissioners will decide whether to adopt a final resolution to create this board, at which point residents will be allowed to start applying for those 7 available positions. The commissioners will have the ultimate say of who ends up on that board, and they're hoping to make that final decision by August. In Sarasota, Adam Cellini, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Sarasota County might soon foot the bill for millions of dollars in medical expenses after the state Supreme Court ruled in favor of private hospitals. Doctors Hospital of Sarasota, Englewood Community Hospital, and Venice Regional say that they should be reimbursed for $300 million worth of care given to indigent patients. The county argues that law is unconstitutional because it grants exclusivity to private hospitals. They say they are at a disadvantage in relation to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, which has property taxing authority as a public entity. In response to the decision, SMH said in a statement, quote, "If the for-profit hospitals choose to proceed to collect these funds from the county, we will defend the lawsuit, as we've done in the past when for-profit hospitals have launched high-profile efforts to dip into public funds to subsidize profit margins. The case will now go to a judge." A Sarasota gymnastics coach has been honored as the U.S. Olympic Committee National Coach of the Year. Not bad. This is Amy Boorman. She's with the EVO Athletics Women's Team Director and one of 2 coaches receiving the prestigious award. She previously coached Olympic superstar Simone Biles. The USA Gymnastics program nominated Boorman for the honor and then went on to an Olympic panel.
Passion is something that just comes from within, and that's what drives you to show up on the days that you don't really feel like doing it. I love watching kids grow. I love watching kids learn and just building that relationship with them through the years, especially in an Olympic year when there's so many sports being showcased at one time because everybody's watching the Olympics. To just be recognized for what I do to help athletes in the sport.
And here's a surprise. Boorman is the first gymnastics coach to ever receive this award. So why should kids have all the fun? For the first time, Sarasota County is launching a summer camp for adults. It's called Camp All Grown Up, and it's designed for adults. If you ever wanted to learn a new hobby, activity, or sport, here's your chance. The new camp offers the chance to kayak, play pickleball, pair wine with dinner, that's a nice activity, catch a shark from the Venice Pier, and other options. The camps are for adults 50 and older. It'll run through August. For more information, contact the county at 861-5000. And with sea turtle nesting season well underway, Mote Marine Labs say the season has been booming so far. Experts say the nesting activity could set a record. So far, more than 3,000 nests have been found on Venice, Casey Key, Siesta Key, Lido, and Longboat Key. Sea turtle nesting season ends on October 31st, which is when Mote will know for sure if we had another record-breaking season. Turtles will take over the world soon at this rate. They're on a roll. There's our address if you want to send us some pictures of turtles on the beach or whatever you do this weekend. We'll show them on Monday at mysuncoast.com.abc7 on our Facebook page. And there it is, debuting our first time. Thank you, Jim Clark, for this one. That's how you can write to each of us on Facebook. You can see a lot of John Scalzi's weather information. You asked some great questions yesterday, and you teased the answer on your website.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoy writing on the Facebook pages.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. You need to stay away from the beaches, though, or you're going to scare the turtles.
I'll whisper.
You'll whisper.
That's right.
It's like the voice of God over here, booming, resonant voice. We have across the region a better chance of some rainfall. They'll give you a chance to stay indoors and sleep this weekend, I think.
Perfect.
Sounds good. We'll give that forecast in a second.
Also, still ahead, Linda Carson goes behind the scenes of some of the area's newest shows and concerts in our weekend Suncoast scene. And later in the hour, a preview of the G20 summit in Germany. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Explore amazing merchants on the Suncoast. Find great prices, products, and services. Go to mysuncoast.com to buy local today. Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Current air temperature comes in at 76 degrees. I wish it was 67, right? 76 degrees. We have a dew point value of 70 and an east-southeast wind at about 7. I'll tell you what, though, the winds are going to be kind of light and variable today. We have a high-pressure ridge which has sunk a little further south, basically right over us, and that's going to allow for the winds to come at us in different directions during the day. They will switch to the west in the afternoon, though, with the sea breeze. That's pretty clear, and the sea breeze front will again initiate a few showers. I think we'll have a few more around today than we had over the last several days. 74, Wauchula, Arcadia at 75, so is Mayaca, Parrish at 76, Bradenton, the same, Lakewood Ranch ditto. Northport comes in identically as well. 74 degrees in Punta Gorda, 77 in Venice, 79 in Inglewood, and Longboat Key comes in at 80 degrees. Across the region right now, everything's very quiet. We have very stable conditions in our atmosphere right now. Big, bright, beautiful moon out there. You might want to check that out before it sets in just a little while. It's almost full. Tomorrow it'll be a full moon. We're looking at a few scattered showers over on the other coast. We have some showers out in Gulf waters. These showers ringing the state are typical of what we see in the morning with a big ridge of high pressure sitting over us, and it's what we have seen over the last several mornings. As we head into the afternoon, we'll see the east coast sea breeze bring some of these showers a little bit closer to us. But right now, everything's very quiet. Morning commute, as I mentioned, will be rain-free, and that's probably going to be the case over the next several mornings, very quiet mornings. Although rain chances will be going up as we get a little bit more moisture into the picture. The moisture is coming up from the south. Water vapor imagery, which shows you the swirls, motions in the atmosphere, where the moisture is, where it is not. The tan color is dry air, and that's what we had around yesterday. But that's quickly being replaced from the south by a little bit higher moisture content air. And that will help to provide us with a little bit more coverage in the rain shower chances this afternoon. As we head into the end of the weekend, I think rain chances will go up significantly. This is the moisture that is available not only aloft, which is what the water vapor imagery shows, but also at the surface. And you'll watch that humid air from the south lift north. And that is what is going to eventually bring us better rain chances. Probably on Sunday, we will return to our typical 50% chance of rainfall chances, and the winds will develop a more southeasterly flow. Today, the showers and thunderstorms that we do get are more than likely going to be just your standard thunderstorms. But as we saw yesterday, they can get strong fast, and isolated severe weather incidents are not out of the question. But the bullseye for severe weather will mostly be in the Ohio Valley region, stretching into Pennsylvania, West Virginia, back into Indianapolis, that area. We're looking at daytime high today. The top's out warm once again, probably around 91 to 93 degrees, and rain chances going up as temperatures go down just a little bit because of the increased shower chances, especially starting on Sunday. Back to you, Ray.
All right, thank you, John. Checking roads right now. A little build up on 301 northbound, heading toward 15th Street East and heading toward downtown Bradenton. Otherwise, all clear right now in Manatee County. Sarasota County, you might notice right away there's a problem there on 41 southbound as you drive away from the Bee Ridge area and head south toward Clark. Otherwise, no problem. And 41 northbound, some slowdowns in the South County area. Well, lots of new shows this weekend. Our Linda Carson has a preview in this week's weekly Suncoast Scene.
Put some magic in your life. The Players Camp presents Once on This Island Junior. It's going to be here on the stage at the Players July 7th at 7 p.m.
We have about 36 kids this session. It's a 4-week camp, and their ages from 7 to 17.
And the show they put on will amaze you.
It's a wonderful, like, Romeo and Juliet story that happens on, like, an island like Haiti, where there's two different groups of people, the rich and the poor. Like Romeo and Juliet, it has a bit of a tragic ending.
But it's joyful to watch. And this weekend, the 5th Annual Venice Theater Summer Cabaret Festival kicks off right here on the Pinkerton stage at the Venice Theater. It's going to start off with My Huckleberry Friend and Songs of My Heart.
Moon river, wider than a mile.
Eric Waters opens the festival with the music of Johnny Mercer.
The show spans his body of music, which really began with his first big hit in 1932. And he was writing songs and having hits right up until the early 1970s.
His show Huckleberry Friend is this week on Thursday and Friday nights at 8 p.m. and Sunday at 2. Edwin Watson takes center stage Saturday and Sunday nights.
Don't let the sun catch you crying.
The name of my show is called Songs of My Heart. And actually, I put the cabaret together. Michelle and I were working, and I was picking songs basically that I love. Songs that make me happy, that I hope make other people happy.
And the best entertainment bargain in town this weekend, Music on Main in Lakewood Ranch. Admission is free. The ABC 7 gang will be here, so come by and say hello. And the music will be supplied by Allie and the Alibis. Johnny Walker, the drummer for Ari and the Alibis, told us what to expect.
I never know for sure just what you say.
You hear a little bit of everything. We do covers, we have originals, we have 2 albums out right now. We have a straighter, kind of original album with a lot of the songs that we've written. We also have a cover album that is live, actually, and a lot of our favorite covers that a lot of people like to see. You also hear everything from jazz, rock, blues, samba, tango.
Friday night, 6 to 9 p.m. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Some great ideas. Thank you, Linda. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. We'll tell you why a legal dispute is escalating over iPhone parts. And at 5:30, the suspense is building as President Trump is set to meet with his Russian counterpart. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Well, what happens when you bring the world leaders all to one city? Well, we've got protests right away. Some anti-capitalist demonstrators are out in force. This is a live picture right now in Hamburg, Germany. The world's eyes on this spot as the G20 summit is underway. And also today, President Trump will meet with his Russian counterpart. We'll have more on that story as our lead story in just a few minutes here on Good Morning Suncoast. We're back now at 5:27. Nike is going to start selling through Instagram. And if you've paid the $5 fee to register your drone, you can now get your money back. ABC's Diane Macedo and Nick Watt have Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, a new battle for Apple.
Qualcomm is now asking the government to halt all iPhone sales and imports, accusing Apple of infringing on 6 patents.
The company says Apple is using its technology and refusing to pay. Apple says Qualcomm is overcharging.
And if you paid $5 to the FAA to register your drone, you may be eligible for a refund. The U.S. Court of Appeals says requiring registration violates federal law.
The FAA is not allowed to make rules regarding model aircraft. The agency must also delete any data users provided. And Nike says it won't be long before you can shop for new sneakers at an unexpected spot. On Instagram.
With about 700 million people using Instagram every month, the sportswear maker is hoping to reach a whole new group of younger customers.
Pretty cool. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Neutrogena.
Can you actually love wearing powerful sunscreen? Yes. Neutrogena Ultra Sheer. No other sunscreen works better or feels so good. Clinically proven Helioplex provides unbeatable UVA/UVB protection to help prevent early skin aging and skin cancer, all with a clean, light feel. For unbeatable protection, it's the one. The best for your skin. Ultra Sheer. Neutrogena. See what's possible.
Who knew that my period or sex, even soap, could throw off my pH balance?
Only Vagisil pH Balance Wash has lacto-prebiotic. Use it every day to help support a healthy feminine pH. Get more from your wash. Get better intimate health. Vagisil.
My sweetheart's gone, sayonara. This scarf, all that's left to remember.
What? She washed this like a month ago.
The long-lasting scent of Gain, now available in matching scents across your entire laundry routine.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Start your day with Ray, Jacqueline, and John, the new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, anti-capitalist protests continue in Germany at the G20 summit. This as President Trump is set to meet with his Russian counterpart. Plus, the latest on the condition of the congressman who is still recovering from being shot on a baseball field last month. And a controversial Florida attorney is following through on threats to sue the state over some local lawmakers' decision to ban smoking medical marijuana. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
Live from the ABC7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And we begin with a live picture from Hamburg, Germany, site of the G20 summit. Looks quiet in this particular angle, but there's been some anti-capitalist protests going on, which is often the case when you bring the nations or the world's leaders together into one spot. Also, there's a nice pan into the other area where you see a few more folks outside the building. Also later on today, of course, President Trump meets with Vladimir Putin, which they say is the first meeting of the two. We'll have more on that throughout the day here on ABC7 and also on Good Morning America. Well, Good Morning Suncoast. I'm Ray Collins. Jacqueline's off today, but John Scalzi is not. And he has details of a temperature cooling down to 91 degrees this weekend. Right,
yeah, right. A big drop in our temperatures, but we'll get a few more showers around, which will help with that. Did you get any rainfall yesterday, Ray?
No.
Most of us didn't, I don't think. No. I got about 5 minutes of drizzle at my house, and that was about it. But boy, down in Charlotte Harbor, they got some big storms down there and produced some wind damage with a water spout that developed. We're looking at across our region today, a pretty quiet start to the morning, so a morning commute shouldn't be too much of a problem. Our radar not showing anything on, in terms of any kind of radar echoes, nothing in the way of rainfall across our region. A lot of sunshine, and you'll notice at the mid and upper levels the general southerly flow this morning. Well, that's going to help increase the moisture in the mid levels of the atmosphere and set the stage for a few more showers around this afternoon. Put the rain chance today at about 40%. Daytime high will probably top out a little warmer than we have seen over the last day. When yesterday we hit 91, we'll probably hit about 92 or 3 today. And then as we head into the weekend, we'll look for that little lowering of our Daytime high temperature as we increase our rain chances. Talk about that coming up in a few, Ray.
Thank you, John. There's the scene right now in Manatee County. No real slowdowns at this hour of the day. Farther south now into Sarasota. A little blip there on the screen at Fruitville as you head westbound around Beneva. And the last map will show us nothing much to speak of at 5:35 on your Friday morning. Topping our news, protests surround the G20 summit in Hamburg, Germany. This as President Trump is set to meet with his Russian counterpart. ABC's Emily Raw has this preview.
This morning, protesters already assembling after a full day of demonstrations to begin the G20 summit. A distinctly different welcome for President Trump in Hamburg compared to the cheering crowds in Warsaw. In his speech to the people of Poland, the president calling out Russia for its activity in Syria and Ukraine.
We urge Russia to cease its destabilizing activities in Ukraine and elsewhere, and its support for hostile regimes, including Syria and Iran.
Instability in the region expected to be on the agenda today for the high-stakes sit-down between President Trump and Vladimir Putin.
President Putin will walk in that door with a very specific agenda in mind, and President Trump needs to be prepared to handle that.
Set to last about 35 minutes, an administration official telling ABC News the meeting will only include a select few. The two presidents and their translators, the Russian foreign minister and Secretary of State Rex Tillerson.
So my big question is, do we see President Trump who wants to be loved, even by Vladimir Putin, or do you see the President Trump who wants to be seen as a tough negotiator?
A tough negotiator, but still not ready to lay the blame squarely on Russia for the 2016 election hack.
Well, I think it was Russia, and I think it could have been other people in other countries.
President Trump already tweeting about today's big meeting, saying he looks forward to them, including the meeting with Vladimir Putin. Emily Rao, ABC News, Washington.
And this meeting is coming as current and former U.S. intelligence officials say Russia has stepped up spying efforts since the election. In December, the U.S. expelled 35 Russian diplomats suspected of spying in retaliation for suspected election meddling. But now they say the Russians may have nearly 150 suspected intelligence operatives in this country. Florida is among a number of states that will hand over some voter information. It's being sought by President Trump's commission investigating alleged voter fraud in the last election. The state will only release information that is already public record. It will not turn over driver's license information or the names of voters whose information is protected, like judges or police officers. An update now on the condition of Congressman Steve Scalise. He has now undergone more surgery after being shot last month during a congressional baseball practice. The Republican House Majority Whip was originally moved out of the intensive care unit after undergoing multiple surgeries back on June 22nd. He has now been readmitted to the ICU due to concerns of infection. Hospital officials said he tolerated the latest procedure well, but remains in serious condition. We're hearing more now about the Hawaiian mother who has some big complaints against United Airlines. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has more on why the child was forced to sit on his mother's lap for more than 3 hours.
The toddler seen in these pictures lying on his mother's lap, at times even standing between her legs, is Shirley Yamauchi's 27-month-old son, Taizo, forced to finish the second leg of their long trip from Hawaii to Boston without a seat, even though Yamauchi paid nearly $1,000 for each ticket.
It was totally unfair, and it was completely unsafe.
Yamauchi says she got on her United flight without a problem after both tickets were scanned. Then all of a sudden, a passenger who was on a standby list arrived with a ticket for her son's seat.
The flight attendant, when I let her know that these were my seats, and she came back and told me that the flight's full, and she shrugged, and that was the end of it.
She says she didn't want to cause a scene like this one in April when United made the news dragging a doctor off his flight to give his seat to another passenger.
I didn't want him hurt, especially.
In this case, United tells ABC News, we inaccurately scanned the boarding pass of Ms. Yamauchi's son. As a result, her son's seat appeared to be not checked in, and we released his seat to another customer. We are also working with our employees to prevent this from happening again. United also apologized to Yamauchi and gave her a refund for her son's ticket. But as far as she's concerned, she says all she's hoping for is that United makes sure this doesn't happen again. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Two other aviation stories now. A passenger tried to enter a cockpit of a Delta flight last night. Flight 129 had just left Seattle, headed for Beijing. The suspect allegedly assaulted a flight attendant in the first-class cabin. Several passengers quickly subdued the suspect. The flight returned to Seattle under military escort, and once the plane was back on the ground, police took the man into custody. In South Florida, the pilot on board a Cessna 152 has died after crashing in the Everglades. The plane's owner reported the flight missing Saturday, but it wasn't found until Wednesday night when a search team came across it. The identity of the pilot has not been released. The FAA and the NTSB are investigating what caused this plane to crash. A well-known Orlando attorney is following through on threats to sue the state over lawmakers' decision to ban smoking medical marijuana. Some local officials have. John Morgan has repeatedly threatened to launch a legal challenge over the smoking issue, which he maintains was permitted in the amendment supported by more than 71% of Florida voters last fall. Even so, lawmakers banned smoking of marijuana, but also allowed patients to vaporize or vape pot products in a measure approved during a special session last month. Governor Scott signed the bill, which went into effect last week.
And when they were voting on it, the vast majority, if not 100%, knew that smoke was included. So the fact that we're here today is really unnecessary, but here we go.
Lawmakers supporting the ban argue that smoking marijuana doesn't have any actual medical benefit. Morgan is now taking his cause to social media, where he's using a hashtag, no smoke is a joke. And Florida agriculture experts are looking for help fighting an invasive species. The Department of Agriculture says experts are starting a citizen science project that trains Floridians to identify and report air potato vines. Those are growing very aggressively and can quickly overtake and kill other vegetation. The plant is found in 60 of the state's 67 counties. Researchers also want to know if people see air potato leaf beetles, which eat the plants as well. Would you recognize one if you saw one of those?
I don't know that I would be able. There's kudzu too, right? That's also a very invasive, fast-growing species that can overtake multiple trees. And I think that's a bigger leaf. Okay. I know whatever it is, I've got those vines all over my yard. Boy, if you don't keep on top of them, they will overtake things. Yeah, and they grow fast. They grow fast. That'd be a good course to take.
A lot to learn there, yeah.
Be fun. I might check that out. We have across the region a little bit more moisture working its way in, a little higher rain chances today. We'll talk about that in a second.
Also, still had a look at non-surgical options for those experiencing chronic back pain. That's next in Health Smart.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining. Looking for something fun to do on a Friday night? Then come to Music on Main, the first Friday of every month at Lakewood Ranch. Enjoy free live music, dancing, great food, and lots of fun for every family member. even the furry ones. Meet up with friends, enjoy activities for the kids, or make it a special date night. And be sure to stop by the ABC7 booth and say hello. Mark your calendars for Music on Main. First Friday of the month, 6 to 9 at Lakewood Ranch. Brought to you by ABC7 and these sponsors.
How long have we been married, dear?
For 76 years.
He was kind and generous to me before we married, and he was kind and generous to me all these years. We decided on Meals on Wheels because I was getting to the point where I couldn't do all the things that I had been able to do. We're the Spans. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Florida's coral reefs are declining. Bad news for our oceans and marine life. Fortunately, you can help, and you don't have to dive, you just have to drive. When you purchase Moat's Protect Our Reefs license plate, $25 goes directly to Moat Marine Laboratory, whose research, restoration, and conservation programs are helping this precious natural resource thrive once again. So get your Moat Protect Our Reefs license plate today. You just might hold the key to saving Florida's reefs.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
From meeting curious lemurs to feeding big cats and hosing down rhinos, there's never a dull moment. And sometimes these amazing animals chime in.
Watch Animal Outtakes every week on ABC7.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
We had some big storms around yesterday and produced some damage actually down in Charlotte. We talked about that earlier in the broadcast. Numerous mobile homes were damaged by some very strong winds that occurred with one thunderstorm that had rotation in it. We had some pictures of the funnel cloud that appeared with that storm. And I've posted those pictures on my Facebook page, John Scalzi ABC7. Go in there, click on it, and you'll get a really good shot of that strong thunderstorm that was around. And that's the case at this time of year. You can get thunderstorms that pop up and produce some pretty heavy weather. And we had one around yesterday. The day before, we had one outside of the Suncoast viewing area, but nevertheless, it was pretty close by. We will probably see more storms around this afternoon, and the potential always exists for some stronger storms to develop. 76 degrees, the current air temperature. We have a lot of blue sky out there right now, clear, starry skies. A lovely, big, bright, full moon is in store for us tomorrow. We're almost there today. Dew point comes in at 70. Southeast wind comes in at 7. Winds are fairly light, and they'll be somewhat variable today. High pressure is basically just sitting right over us, and it's going to make for very quiet conditions out there on the waters. If you're going to be boating at all today, you're going to have really smooth, almost glass-like conditions on the water, similar to what we had yesterday before the storms developed. 74, Wauchula, Arcadia, Myakka, Parrish comes in at 75, so is Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, 76 in Northport, 74 degrees in Punta Gorda this morning, 77 in Venice, 78 in Inglewood, and 80 degrees at Longboat Key. A few scattered showers ring the peninsula this morning. Those scattered showers will be probably on radar again tomorrow morning as well. Not a whole lot over land, but expect to see perhaps those showers building by 3 or 4 o'clock. Certainly by 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, we'll see some showers building and the coverage will be a little bit better. If you put a review in of yesterday's showers and thunderstorms, well, you'll notice those storms building really pretty quickly and moving pretty fast in a general westerly direction. That will probably be the same sort of situation again this afternoon. Slower moving storms, however, could produce some fairly heavy rainfall at times later today. As far as the forecast for us goes, a little bit more moisture lifting northward, indicated here by these turquoise colors on the water vapor imagery, a signal that we are in for better rain chances as we head into the days ahead. Here's the forecast. We're looking at a daytime high that tops out in the low 90s for the next several days. And as we head into the end of the weekend, particularly, our rain chances bump back up to our standard 50%, right?
All right, John. Talk to you soon. There is the scene right now in Manatee County. A couple slowdowns, one on 301 northbound by 15th Street East. Otherwise, not too much right now. Farther south into Sarasota County, a little bump there on the road at the 41-301 split. There's some construction going on there. It's reduced to one lane. I saw that driving in today, actually. And then farther south, the 41 northbound by Nokomis. Some early morning congestion at 5:49 on your Friday morning. In this morning's Health Smart, many of you have back issues. I know I've had back issues. And even though surgery has become less invasive, there are still other options before it gets to that point. Kim Hutcherson has some options.
Back pain is categorized as chronic when it lasts 3 months or longer. And while surgery may be necessary in some cases, doctors at Johns Hopkins say there are alternatives. Physical therapy can help with back pain. Patients learn better posture, gain flexibility, and core strength, all of which helps their condition improve. Yoga and meditation can help fight the emotional turmoil that comes from coping with chronic back pain. Mindfulness exercises can train your mind to not focus on the physical discomfort. Changes in your diet and other lifestyle modifications may also help relieve back pain. Other non-surgical options include massage and acupuncture, nerve ablations where nerves are destroyed to ease pain, and anti-inflammatory medications or muscle relaxants might help. Also, give up the smokes. Johns Hopkins says nicotine has been known to make pain worse and slow down the healing process. These tips may help you avoid surgery and the long recovery process. Remember to discuss any course of action with your doctor. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll update the day's top local news headlines. And SeaWorld returns 2 turtles to the wild. More on their rescue and rehabilitation after this.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
For the last 18 years, Samantha's Friends has been assisting people along the Suncoast who have been challenged by catastrophic illnesses or affected by autism obtain a service canine. We need your help. Please show your support by attending our annual Celebrity Gala brunch and fundraiser. Call Sammy Lee at 941-448-8558 for more information.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Download ABC7's all-new official Suncoast weather app onto all your devices so you can stay informed wherever you go. With our full-featured all-new weather app, you can get weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. ABC7's all-new official Suncoast weather app, sponsored by Mr. Sparky. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download yours today.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
We are celebrating Linda Carson's 79th birthday. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, her daughter joins us and we'll dish out some family fun. And Linda's Irish eyes will be smiling as we help send her off on her trip to Ireland with some professional travel tips. The Ritz-Carlton stops by with some summer spa deals we can all enjoy. And Ruth's Chris Steakhouse helps us celebrate in the kitchen.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
Well, much of the world's attention right now is on this spot. Here's a live picture in Hamburg, Germany. Some anti-capitalists are protesting the site of the G20 summit, where many of the world's leaders are gathering right now. Also today, President Trump will meet with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. So indeed, an interesting day there in Hamburg, Germany. 5:55 right now on your Friday morning. Here are some of the top local headlines on the Suncoast right now. A 36-year-old Bradenton man admitted to police he shot his 19 and 12-year-old stepsons in their house on 6th Avenue East. The victims' conditions are critical and stable, respectively, this morning. Northport commissioners voted to name Peter Lear their next city manager. He was the city finance director. The Venice native replaces Jonathan Lewis, who left for a job with Sarasota County. He now leads more than 530 employees and a budget of $110 million. And the Bradenton Housing Authority is looking to change the rules to allow weapons among residents. The new leases will allow residents the right to bear arms, but it will also revise the vetting process for residents. The idea still needs city approval. Finally this hour, 2 loggerhead sea turtles are back in the wild thanks to SeaWorld of Orlando, the rescue team there, and also the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. The turtles were taken back to the ocean in Satellite Beach. One of the 2 had a problem with a flipper. The other found seashells in its digestive tract. Now, a clean bill of health. They are back where they belong.
That's great.
That's a great video. I always see those turtles waddling back home.
Yes, yes, and you know that the world is their oyster, so to speak.
They turn back and say, thanks, and off they go. See you next hour.